Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and with the Fed meeting just around the corner, these Bollinger Bands are showing us that a massive move is coming very soon. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, but for now, let's take a quick look at this previous bearish divergence. And right now, this 4-hour bearish divergence is potentially coming to its end. Like I said in yesterday's Bitcoin update video, the things that I'll be paying attention to help determine the end of this bearish divergence is if the Bitcoin RSI on the 4-hour chart starts a new uptrend again. And if you extend this line of resistance out further, you can see that we are beginning to break to the upside in the 4-hour RSI for Bitcoin. And I also mentioned yesterday that ideally we need to see a bullish cross in the 4-hour MACD as well, which we are possibly seeing at the time of recording this video, but that also needs to be confirmed with a 4-hourly candle close, and that hasn't happened right now at least. But even if we see a further uptrend in the Bitcoin RSI and a bullish cross on the 4-hour MACD, we would still need to break above around $44,000 per Bitcoin before flipping bullish again here on the 12-hour time frame. The subscribers would already know about this indicator because I've been covering it almost every day for the past week or so. But for anyone that is new to the channel, this indicator is known as the parabolic stop and reverse indicator, and it is basically used to help determine trend reversals. But here on the smaller time frames like the 4-hour chart and the 12-hour chart, the trend reversals that we're talking about here are of course short-term trend reversals. If you're wanting to know about much larger trend reversals, I'll be talking about that later in the video. But anyway, like I said, we need to break above this red dot, which is coming in at around 44,000 in order for this indicator on this time frame to flip bullish again. And right now we are seeing a squeeze in the Bollinger Bands indicator, which tells us that a very volatile move is potentially just around the corner. For example, looking at the last couple times where we saw a squeeze in this 12-hour Bollinger Bands indicator, one time was back here just before we saw a very volatile move to the downside, and the most recent squeeze, apart from what we're seeing right now, was back here around 2 weeks ago. And you can see that not long after we saw that squeeze, we saw a very volatile move in the Bitcoin price, and that time it was to the upside. So unfortunately, this indicator does not tell us the direction of the move. It simply lets us know that a very volatile move is potentially around the corner, and to help determine the direction of the move, we need to look at some other indicators like these indicators that I just mentioned. And also there is a strong possibility that the direction of that volatile move could be determined by the outcome of the Federal Reserve meeting that is just about to happen. In fact, when I post this video, the Fed meeting should be less than 1 hour away, and probably the biggest focus for that meeting, what everyone is focusing on, is interest rate hikes. And when you're talking about interest rate hikes, there's really two strong possibilities. The first possibility is that the Fed just continues on with their plan, which is to potentially hike interest rates next month in March. And like I've said, that's pretty much what we've been expecting over the past 2 months because that's their plan that they have announced. But the other possibility is that due to recent inflation figures that have obviously increased up to 7.5%, which by the way, if you are new here, that is not good. That is extremely high inflation. And so because of that, there is a possibility that the Fed could hike interest rates almost immediately. And that is the scenario that we need to be watching out for, because for any of the beginners out there, when the Fed increases interest rates, that is technically bearish for the overall financial markets. So basically, if the Fed announces today that they are raising interest rates almost immediately, then in that case, there is a strong possibility that we could see some more short-term bearish price action. But if we see the Fed going with the first decision that I discussed, which is basically the Fed going as planned and beginning interest rate hikes in March, then in that case, that would simply increase our probability of seeing some more bullish price action later on. And now looking at some importance levels here on the daily time frame on the linear scale for Bitcoin, currently we are finding support along this previous 23.6% Fibonacci level, which is coming in at around 41,500. And then according to the 38.2% Fibonacci level and this previous point of support and this massive cluster of volume here in the VPVR indicator, we have some massive resistance for the Bitcoin price coming in at around 46,000 approximately. Now taking a look at the percentage of Bitcoin short positions on the Bybit exchange, and what we have seen over the past 2 weeks is the ratio of Bitcoin short positions on the Bybit exchange decrease, which is one reason why the Bitcoin price had a decent spike to the upside around 1 to 2 weeks ago, going from around 36,000 up towards around 45,000 within about a week. And you can simply see throughout history that anytime we see a lot of short positions close, during those same time periods, we usually see a lot of bullish price action for Bitcoin. And obviously you can still see here that the percentage of Bitcoin short positions on the Bybit exchange is still sitting at a very high level, relatively speaking, according to all of this previous history. So basically, if the Bitcoin short positions continue to decrease, then while that is happening, that will add an extra buying pressure to Bitcoin, Bitcoin, just like what we've seen in these past examples. And then it is only when Bitcoin short positions start opening back up again, during those time periods, we see a lot of bearish price action for Bitcoin. So this is definitely something that I am paying attention to, and I will make sure to keep you updated on this here on the channel. And now giving you a quick update on the parabolic stop and reverse indicator here on the 4-day time frame for Bitcoin, and we have just seen our third green dot, which is obviously great to see. And in case you are new to the channel, this indicator on this time frame has been incredibly accurate throughout Bitcoin's history, and especially as of the last couple years or so. You can see just here, for example, pretty much every single time where this indicator has flipped into the green here on this 4-day time frame, we have almost always experienced a lot more bullish price action for Bitcoin, and like I said, we are in the green right now. But it is important to mention that this is talking about the bigger picture, talking about these much larger moves on the charts, which can contain short-term bearish price action in the middle of these bullish moves, or in the middle of these major bearish moves that can contain short-term bullish price action. But when you're talking about the general direction of the Bitcoin price, potentially over the next few weeks and possibly leading up to the next few months, according to this previous price history, right now we are simply leading slightly more bullish than we are bearish, according to indicators like this and other indicators that I've been mentioning on this channel for the past month pretty much. And so it was only on the smaller time frames, looking at the shorter term, that we were looking more bearish here over the past few days. And of course, I've been letting you know that ever since this point right here. If you found this video useful or simply enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important updates that I post every single day. And also, before you click off, I have a couple of videos popping up on your screen right here. I've got a trading tutorial and a passive income video, which are both there to help you make more money in the crypto markets. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.